expected. So for the next hour, Jonathan, all of us are wondering, what does Micro Daily and Engage Global Products have to do with aging gracefully? Because a lot of people aren't aging gracefully today. Matter of fact, they 50 years old look like they're 100 years old. So is there a way to make us look a little younger and feel a little bit better? You have the platform. We're looking forward to hearing how. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bernard. And you're absolutely right. It's a challenge to try to to age gracefully, and that's why this subject, in my opinion, is a very important one. But I wasn't the first one to think that this was an important idea. It was Dr. Prasad that decided that the subject of anti-aging was significant and that people needed to know about it. And he did a deep dive and did some research to attack the subject. Wrote a scientific paper on the subject, not just an opinion. He wrote a scientific paper on the subject, and then it was published. So the whole world could see this brilliant man's research. So instead of calling our discussion anti-aging, I decided to alter the theme a little bit and call it aging gracefully. Because some people think that when you say anti-aging, that somehow or another we found the fountain of youth, and we did what Ponce de Leon was trying to do, and we got this magic elixir that's going to stop you from aging, and that's simply not the case. But and Dr. Prasad was never making that claim. He was never making that claim. He was just making the claim, the assertion that it was possible to age gracefully, to get older, but not necessarily have to experience the ravages of aging, the crippling effects of what oxidative stress does to the body. You hear that word oxidative stress, and I'm hoping that folks who have been here a number of times don't just get desensitized by that expression, oxidative stress. Please don't. Understand something. Oxidative stress is bad. Every single thing that's wrong with you, everything that goes wrong with us, is precipitated by a free radical and oxidative stress, something that did damage at the cellular level. That's just a fact. So, but Dr. Prasad has taken this to an entirely different level. So before we get our discussion started, understand something. The FDA has not evaluated the statements that we're making. Testimonies that you're going to hear are purely anecdotal. Results are atypical, and we have to really emphasize that. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. Engage makes no claims. Micro Daily, Collagen Daily, Omega Daily, Brain Boost, or any of the Engage Global products will treat or cure any disease, because only the government can declare a nutritional supplement to be a treatment or cure for a disease state. But we have a story. Before we introduce Dr. Prasad, I've got a story that I don't think he's heard it before. And I know that Jeff has, and most have probably heard the story. But I'd like to share it because I think that it will kind of illustrate what happens when someone who has reached advanced age experiences the apparent reversal of many of their issues. Because I think that illustrates what Dr. Prasad has published in his paper all about. So the woman's name is Virginia Gilbo, and Virginia Gilbo came out of the blue. And one day she says, I want to tell my story. And I said, well, okay, Miss Gilbo, we want to hear your story. And it started really with, I got a phone call in the middle of the night. It was 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it scared me half to death. You know how you get phone calls like that? You just think, oh my God, who died? You know, because who's calling me at this time in the morning? But it turns out Virginia was watching some conferences, one of Dr. Prasad's conferences discussion, and she somehow came across my name and my phone number and pushed the button by mistake. And she hung up right away. But I called her back early in the morning. She just apologized up and down. She says, I'm 91. I didn't mean to call you. I said, Miss Gilbo, never apologize. You can call me anytime you want to, ma'am. And she said, I want to tell my story. and it was just, to me, it was just the most touching and heartwarming thing to hear, because my mother-in-law, at the time that Virginia told the story, my mother-in-law was also 91 years old and was experiencing a lot of the very same things, the similar things that Virginia was experiencing. My mother had experienced some of those things. So let me just see if I can get this to play for you folks. So give me 1 second here. I brought it up, and I think I got to create a brand new share. I'm going to speed it up too, so you're going to hear it, and possibly initially you may hear it, at normal speed, but I am going to speed it up a little bit because she talks a little bit slow, and that's not a criticism, just an observation. And I want you to hear the entire story that she shared with us. All right, I'm going to turn the volume up, and then, like I said, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, okay? I'm going to take it from 1x to 1.5x. All right, that would be the whole story.
Okay. Was sponsored by my sister, Evelyn Burns. She's 84. I'm 91. Mm-hmm. And the reason I decided to look at this business is because she sent me a videotape, and I wasn't going to bother with it, but something said, well, look at it, because it was talking about a doctor on there. And me and her are very we're very self-conscious about our health. We love to hear about health. And so I said, well, I'm going to look at it. Let me see what this doctor got to say. I looked at the tape, and I tell you, before I got through the tape, a lady came on there with her testimony. And she was talking about two of the issues that I had, health issues that I had. And I couldn't imagine, I couldn't hardly wait to get off that, finish looking at the tape. But anyway, I finished looking at the tape, and I was figuring around trying to see if I could get another video. And I suffer with two of them. She had a few things wrong with her, but I have two specific things, health issues. And that's congestive heart failure, mm-hmm. and rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
And this is what got me. And she said she was taking this product. It was in a green bottle, original EMF.
Uh-huh.
And she also said she was taking the brain boost.
Uh-huh.
And so as soon as I signed up, I ordered those two products.
Uh-huh. And what are you noticing?
I wanted the same thing she took. And I ordered those products. So when my products came, I couldn't hardly wait for them to come. But when they came about 5 days later. I started taking them. And I started taking them just like she said she was taking them. She was doubling up on them. So I doubled up on them too. And I took those products. I tell you, before I started taking the product, I could not walk from my bedroom to the bathroom without being out of breath and winded. I would get to the bathroom and I would have to lean over on the sink to wash my face. And then my lower part of my back would be hurting me. And I would put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, and I'd have to sit down on the toilet to brush my teeth. And I would, before that, I couldn't even go in my kitchen and get me a glass of water. I would have to lean over on the sink because my back would be killing me and I would be out of breath, winded. To get my water, I have a stool sitting by the sink, and I would have to sit on that sink to drink my water. Well, the third day after I took this product and did exactly what I thought that lady said to do, that she was doing, I got up off the bed. I woke up and got up off the bed and just walked into the bathroom, not thinking. Usually I would have to get up and sit on the edge of the bed and then sit a few minutes and catch my breath and then get up and go in the bathroom. But I wasn't even thinking. I got up and just walked on in the bathroom and stood up there and brushed my teeth, washed my face. And I didn't think about it till I got back into the bedroom. I said, well, what? To myself, I said, well, I didn't even have to lean or sit. But anyway, that same day, my daughter, she said to me, now this is the third day, only the third day I'm taking this micro daily and the brain boost. So I said, my daughter said to me, she said, Mama, she said, I want you to go with me to this convention. My daughter promotes CBD oil. And that, the company was having a convention in Atlantic City. I live in New York. Well, I said to her, I said, Linda, I don't think I can go. I said, you know how I get winded just walking. And she said, well, Mama, just please come. She said, she kept insisting, please come. She said, just lean on the Lord, lean on God. And that's what I tell her sometimes when she, have a problem. I said, girl, lean on the Lord, lean on God. He'll take you through. So she gave me back the same message I give her. So she kept insisting. She said, Mama, ain't too many people got a 91-year-old mother that's living. And I want to show these people what a blessing I have. You living and you're 91 years old. And she kept insisting. So I went on to the convention with her. But she was thinking that to go to the convention, Amtrak, we had to take Amtrak. Well, Amtrak takes you straight through. But when we got to the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Amtrak wasn't going straight through because they was working on the tracks. And we had to walk. We had to change and take 3 trains. And I tell you, the first train, we had to walk the equivalent of, I would say, 2 to 3 blocks. And there I was with my walker. And I was walking behind her. And every once in a while, she would look back and she said, Mama, you doing good. And one time she said that I just threw my hand up. I said, to God be the glory. And we made it to the next to that train. We had to go to another train. And that was about a long block. And all of it, that was about 4 long blocks I had walked. And I just couldn't get over it. And Linda couldn't get over it either, I'm sure. But anyway, we made it to the convention. And when I got to the convention, I was able to go to every meeting for the 2 days with her. And I was just surprised at myself. So we got back home. And on the 22nd of October, now I joined Engaged Global on the 26th of September. I had a birthday party for my niece, who is the daughter of a sister of ours. We come from a family of children of 12, and I'm the 9th child. But my sister's daughter had a birthday party, and so many people came from all over. We have a large family. They came from all over the country. All her sisters and brothers, except the 2 that's deceased, came. And I went to the party. When I was at the party, everybody started dancing. And for some reason, I threw that stick aside and I went to dancing with them. And my nieces and nephews and family members, me being the matron of the family, they could not get over it. And I couldn't get over it myself. I threw that stick aside. I didn't even take the walker with me. And I could not get over it myself. Well, I had a ball that night. To God be the glory. I just thank God for giving Dr. Basal the knowledge to invent this product. I'm telling you, I'm in here now, almost about to shout, just talking about it. And then a few days ago, I haven't cooked a meal, not even breakfast. I haven't cooked a meal in, I would say, about before 2015. And 2019, they put a ICD in my body, which means it's a pacemaker and a defibrillator combined. Mm-hmm. And I still was having a problem. So I knew it was this product. The reason I wasn't having a problem breathing and was able to walk all those blocks, I said, it had got to be this product. And so I went in the kitchen, and my right hand is a little crooked up from the arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Well, I wasn't even able to cut up an apple or say peel an apple before I took this product. But do you know, I cut up a whole cabbage.
Oh, wow.
With this cooked up hand.
Oh, wow.
And cooked some cornbread and rice and whatever else I wanted. And I hadn't cooked or tried to cut up nothing. I wasn't able to cut up nothing, not even an apple, before I took this product. And I just want people, I try to tell it now everywhere I see somebody, everybody come in the house, I'm talking about it. But I just want whoever is under the sound of my voice, if you just try this product. It may not do for you what it did for me, but I tell you, if it don't hurt you, it certainly won't harm you. So please try it. And I want to say one more thing. The Bible said, all those that Jesus touched was healed. But when she touched him, she was made whole. And I want to say, as long as I live, I intend to touch micro daily. And I believe if I touch this micro daily, as long as I live, because I told my girlfriend the other day, I was going to live to be 100. I said, because 99 and a half won't do. And I believe if I continue to touch micro daily, I'm going to be made whole. God bless everybody. Oh, and then another thing, I just want to say this too. I'm forgetting about some of the things that said. I had knots on my knees, you know, and on each side of my outer kneecap, and that was from the arthritis. And not only that, when it would swell up, it would start hurting me when I walk. It was like bone on bone, and oh, it was so painful. But do you know I looked down a couple of days ago, and do you know I don't even see them knots on my leg. And my knees is looking like they looked when I was 25 years old or 20 years old. I just can't believe it. Try this product. And God will bless you like he blessed me through Dr. Basal. God bless you all.
Thank you. That's amazing. That's an amazing story.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's the best.
Well,
wow.
So I might live 100 years.
Yes.
I'm very close to her.
Yes. Virginia, you're going to go beyond that, Dr. Prasad. And we found that to be quite amazing. And I'm going to ask you just your comments about her and her situation here in just a minute, Dr. Prasad. But I've got to properly introduce you to our audience.
Okay.
Before we have our discussion here, I want to welcome Dr. Kedar Prasad to our discussion. Dr. Prasad.
Micro daily also provide or improve immune function. It improves DNA repair capacity and reduce the attrition. Attrition from the loss of telomere, which are unique to aging.
Right.
This is very important to know that a particular micro daily can do that. And collagen peptide would restore the loss of collagen and elastin, which are unique to aging. Loss is unique. You get wrinkled skin. But not only that, the collagen peptide has some unique function in both at least two diseases. You can see that in two diseases, namely Alzheimer and diabetes type 2.
Right.
And so because I will discuss sometime, but so the question is here that you provided at least Alzheimer disease, how to reduce it. So by micro daily EMF, brain boost is very important because brain boost, some uniqueness of brain boost is that first you know why it happens, why you get the Alzheimer disease. If you know brain uses 20% of the respired oxygen, disproportionate amount. And when mitochondria, which is a tiny membranous structure in all nerve cell and every place else, they generate energy. They pick up oxygen and makes your energy. Without that, you don't have any energy.
Right.
But in that process, they release a lot of free radical as a byproduct. You can't avoid it. Not only that, the 2% of unused oxygen leaks out and generates billions of free radicals. So brain is always exposed to very high level of free radical damage. So you should have thought that, well, nature would have provided a high level of antioxidant to defend it. No,
right. Brain
has the lowest level. So in this case, you know, these things contributes to development of Alzheimer, and they increase the production of beta amyloid protein, and so which is very damaging. And so we provided a brain boost. For example, we have a additional, more powerful antioxidant like resveratrol, curcumin in a brain boost. We also provided two additional substrate. Substrate mean the food for mitochondria to make more energy. And third is that we provided in a brain boost two precursor of membrane. One is phosphatidylserine and phosphatidylcholine. Membrane must need these two things to make a new membrane. And when you have provided all these things, when new membranes are formed, now you also provided antioxidant, so they are protected. Before that, new membrane were not protected, and membranes are easily damaged by free radical. And so you can see how important it is to have both high level of antioxidant as well as the high level of a precursor of membrane, so that brain functions very nicely.
You have just convinced me that micro daily, collagen daily, and the brain boost are inseparable if I want to protect my brain.
Yeah. And one more that at that time we did not have it. One more thing is very important. Well, CBD is important, but before CBD, omega daily. Because at that time we didn't have omega daily, and I did not do much study on it, except we knew that it is essential fatty acid. Your body do not make it.
Yeah.
Your body does not make omega-3 fatty acid. You rely on diet. And it is, DHA is so important that 40% of the fatty acid in your brain is DHA. You can imagine how much DHA is important because they are used for membrane.
40%?
Yeah, 40%. Because all the receptors, all the membrane require DHA and EPA. Where you get DHA and EPA? You can't get in a vegetarian diet. Vegetarian diet, you can get a linolenic acid. I always have a problem in pronouncing it. Linolenic acid.
That's all right. We know what you're talking about. It's that last item on that list of ingredients.
Yeah. So it is very important. But also important is omega-6. But omega-6, I have seen many formulations, they just add it without thinking about it. But omega-3, a small amount, is anti-inflammation, is good for your health. But high amount is very harmful to your gut. Guess what? Western diet, including US diet, has the ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 is 1 to 10.
Wow.
And native Eskimos, their ratio is 1 to 1 because they eat a lot of salmon, a lot of fish. So, and
our diet, you're saying our diet has way more omega-6, more omega-6 than we should have.
And if you are just a vegetarian, for example, then you will get the alpha and gamma linolenic acid. But the rate of conversion, omega-6 cannot convert to DHA and EPA. Wow. But linolenic acid or ALA, alpha linolenic acid, get converted so gradually, minimally, like 1%.
Wow.
So eventually your brain will have some higher level of enough to survive, but not optimally functioning that you will need to do while you are aging. And so I think this omega-3 is also a must for improving brain function, like brain boostage is must.
Well, tell me something, Dr. Prasad. Is it just my imagination, or is this omega having an effect on me? Because I've noticed that I don't need as much brain boost now that I'm taking the omega-3. I was taking 2 and 2. Yeah. But now when I take one of these, I feel like I'm just, my brain is lit up. I feel sharp and clear.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because, again, some of the function of that, as I said, brain boost could be replaced, for example, as a precursor of membrane. And so they work together. I mean, this omega-3 fatty acid and what we have some of the precursor of membrane that we have, they work together. They need each other. But if you don't have enough DHA, they may be not as functional. And so the combination you do, then you can take one in the morning, one in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Omega Daily.
Well, that Omega Daily has been absolutely powerful as far as I'm
Very
concerned.
powerful addition.
And I have just absolutely been loving it. And by the way, I've noticed another thing, Dr. Prasad. I don't know if this was part of your plan, but I don't crave food like I was. I don't seem to crave junk. I don't find myself, wanting to
That's
eat
good.
all the time.
That's good.
I was literally around 12 or 1 o'clock and I didn't feel hungry. And I ate something because I thought it was just a good idea, not because I wanted to go and empty the refrigerator in my plate. So if anyone's wondering, I lost 4 pounds without even trying. I literally dropped from like 193 down to 189 like that. I wasn't even trying. So something's going on with this omega-3.
Again, the many function, as I said, many functions. There's some functions we know of DHA. And by the way, if you are a vegan and wants to have omega-3 fatty acid, vegan food would not give you. But you can take a omega isolated from the algae. But there you have to careful, make sure that they are free from heavy metal. Generally, when they purify it, the heavy metal like mercury and lead come with that as a contamination. Preparation are like that. So make sure when you take from algae sources, then make sure they has been tested by somebody else, third-party testing, and they don't have mercury. Then they should be as good as, because fish don't make it. Fish eats the algae. That's why they get it already made, DHA and EPA.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. Well, I was going to share another testimonial to wrap up our discussion.
Sure.
Just we may not have time for it because we got a couple of questions that folks will want to ask. Sure. But for those who are wondering about how to get the products that Dr. Prasad talked about, the other testimonies that I was going to share was Michi Morris, and Michi Morris's mom had suffered with Alzheimer's for about 10 years. And within just a few days of taking the brain boost, adding brain boost to her diet, she formulated a couple of sentences, and she started doing things and responding in ways that she had not responded before. The family was just, flabbergasted by it. So, but it's just further reinforcing what you have just discussed with us. But we'll do that one and maybe one or two other dimension ones on our next discussion when we approach the subject of anti-aging, when we do part 2. So, but for those of you who are wondering how to get the product, Dr. Basal recommends this particular formula here. This is the most powerful formula. Now, Virginia Gilboa was using the original. I think she mentioned the green bottle. And she also one time mentioned EMF, I'm not sure, but I compared the green bottle to a firecracker, and this one I compare to a stick of TNT. This is pretty amazing. So you can get it on subscription for $83, and I highly recommend this one. This is one I give to my mother-in-law, and her pain levels went down almost right away. She's almost 93, by the way, so in just a few months she'll be 93. And she's taking less medication now than she was when she was in her 70s and her 80s. So she's doing much better. But whoever invited you to this discussion will tell you about these bundles. The basic bundle is the EMF and the probiotic daily. Now you can substitute the hydro EMF. So you got either the capsules, that's this one right here you're looking at that she's pointing to, that's the capsules of the microdaily EMF along with the probiotic daily. So Dr. Prasad says that's the basic. This is at the very minimum that you need to do if you want to have good health. If you want to step it up a notch, go with the premium bundle. The premium bundle is the next level up. You can see it on the screen there. Just add the collagen daily to the discussion. My wife and I both do that. We're taking 1.5. Personally, we're taking 1.5 scoops of that every day. But Dr. Prasad's formula says take 2/3 of a scoop once a day, and that's pretty good for prevention. But I've doubled it. My wife and I both we doubled. We take twice as much as what Dr. Prasad recommends because we've noticed a decrease in pain, increased mobility, and more flexibility with that. So and then if you really want to go with what Dr. Prasad highly recommends, that's the top level there. That's Dr. Prasad's Core 4. So the Core 4 includes the Omega Daily. You just heard him have a discussion as to why that's so important. And at first, I never will question what Dr. Prasad says. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. But I raised an eyebrow and said, yeah, I don't know about every single day, Dr. Prasad, taking an omega-3, but I bet you right now, I will not skip one day on omega-3. I'm taking that every single day, and I cannot believe, personally, the difference that it's making. I think it's making everything that I'm taking of the whole formula, I think it's making it all work better. I'm sitting down, and I'm clear. I don't feel like I want to take a nap. I'm sitting down, and I'm thinking. My creativity has come back. I'm conjuring up stuff. I'm making up to-do lists of things. You know how you have you ever been in that point, folks, where your get up and go feels like it got up and went? Well, mine came back, and I feel like doing things and following through on projects a whole lot more. So I highly recommend the Core 4. So just talk to the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will help you to get either one of those three combinations is what you want to go with. But obviously the Core 4 is what we most highly recommend. So, but we're going to take a couple of your questions right now, folks. And Bernard picked up a couple of questions out of the chat. So what's the first question there, Bernard? By the way, this is what we're discussing next week with Dr. Prasad. So if you want to make a note of that, folks, you can expect
for you. But X, if you take this, yes.
Extremely important. All right. So that's very simple.
With the absorption, that is
okay.
For example, to cylinder zinc importance.
What about his audio? I think one question I saw was, what about the importance of zinc, Dr. Prasad? So someone said, what about zinc?
We have a zinc, that's sufficient amount. And zinc is important for you. But X, if you take an excess amount of zinc, that will prevent the absorption of other nutrients.
Okay.
For example, to selenium. Selenium is also very important. So zinc, sufficient amount we have added, I think it is a 15 milligram. That is more than enough. And but if you start taking a 30, 40, 50 milligram of zinc, then can interfere with the absorption of selenium, which is extremely important factor for glutathione peroxidase. Yes.
Extremely important. All right. So that's very simple then. So this question about taking 7 different types of zinc is not good.
No.
What's needed has already been supplied in the formula, folks.
That's
so
right.
Stick with what Dr. Prasad has provided in his formula. So we got another question that came up. Bernard, you got the other one?
Yes, we have another one. If someone has basal cell carcinoma, is it okay to take CBD? And they're already using iBoost, Brain Boost, Daily Omega, and
basal cell carcinoma. CBD has nothing to do with cancer at all, one way or the other. And so she can take, CBD. And basal cell carcinoma is very interesting. I would say that generally it is in the white skin. Basal cell carcinoma is generally white people have more frequent. And so I remember that my wife used to have it, and when I discovered that time vitamin E succinate, and so I said, why don't you go and apply some vitamin E succinate? So a company made a cream of vitamin E succinate. A friend of mine vitamin E applied topically. Right now, for basal cell carcinoma, is retinoic acid is the treatment. Generally, they give, but retinoid toxic. If somebody has a large surface is very toxic, but vitamin E succinate has no toxicity, and it disappears. And with retinoic acid, it will come back again. But vitamin E succinate for a long time, it didn't come back. And after that, she recovered, and so she didn't need to. So micro daily EMF, for example, we have sufficient amount of vitamin E succinate. But if somebody has a large surface area, I would say that they can dissolve it in some kind of Jeff always suggests, coconut oil,
coconut oil.
Something like that. And that will be very useful.
Very good. That's a good question. Thank you, Bernard, for that. We got another one?
Well, we got another one. People with gout, that is so painful, boy. Look like if you're going to touch them, they start hollering. Of course, cranberry juice they was talking about. So the question they're asking is, does microdaily products do any good for people with gout?
Well, I mean, nobody has done experiment on that clinical study. I would say try for 3 months, and if it doesn't help you, don't take it.
So you want the people to become the testimonies.
Experiments, yeah. Guinea pig, yeah. Because no study has been done, so we don't know. I cannot predict what happened. But I know
I've got a client.
that gout, every disease that you have is oxidative free radical always contributed. Yeah. And so directly or indirectly some other way. And so I would say that it will help, but I can't say for sure.
Oh, no, I can tell you, Dr. Prasad, anecdotally, I have a client that was taking the standard dose, 2 capsules twice a day, and was complaining that the gout wasn't improving. I told him to increase it by 1 capsule, never heard another complaint after that. So 3 capsules.
And Jeff had also several examples that it has helped them. Mm-hmm. But as a scientist, I cannot be sure.
Right.
So I said, you try it like this, and if it works, continue it.
Okay, so since I'm not a scientist, folks, and all I am is the
moderator
and host of the discussion, I can tell you my suggestion on it. So my suggestion is you go ahead and you take at least a little bit extra, a little bit more than Dr. Prasad's standard recommended amount, and you should.
Again, it's non-toxic, so it is okay.
That's right. It won't hurt you. Won't hurt you.
Well, Jonathan, Sherry Pratt asked something about D as in David, D3. I'm not sure what that is, but
vitamin D3.
Vitamin D is just another form of, that's the form body uses it. So vitamin D is the form that body uses it. So we always recommend, and we have vitamin D form. And so that is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Jonathan, I just, on this, it seemed to be a question to come up over and over again, Dr. Prasad, as to whether some of the supplemental things that are taken, a lot of people are taking silver, a lot of people are taking things for iron supplement, a lot of people taking vitamins. They're kind of asking the question, in these products, do they really need any supplemental things to go along with the core 4 or anything else such as that? What do you recommend when it comes to that?
Answer is no, because other kind of paste, for example, supplement, mineral, any kind of diet you take, they provide more than enough for your body. But if somebody has for other reasons iron deficiency, anemia, then in that scenario, you take a supplement iron, and they recommend iron with vitamin C because they get absorbed better. And then you take the things a couple of hours after you take the antioxidant. Because antioxidant, if anything, it will help to improve the absorption of your iron that you are taking. And once iron deficiency is corrected, then stop taking iron.
Well, another thing, Dr. Prasad, just to make it clear, the core 4 and all these products you have actually put together, and the company has done something wonderful lately. Those of you that's not on here quite often, the company has actually put the bundles together to make it more affordable for everyone out there. And I thought it was interesting. They did that. There were a lot of people that were trying to mix the collagen or mix to this or mix to that. And the question that was asked is, does these products work as well if they go outside your formulations that you put together to work in a synergenic manner?
But until I know what other type of thing they want to take it, I cannot comment on that because for example, there is no need for that. But if somebody wants to have, for example, if somebody wants to have extra vitamin D3, for example, well, that I have it, but many people, because we don't go in sun, we always work in the office like I do.
Right.
And so they could develop vitamin D deficiency. So that's the only exception I allow, up to 5,000 international units of vitamin D outside our core 4.
Wow.
That's the only thing.
Nice. Okay, I didn't know that. Did you know that, Jonathan?
No, and that's beautiful. I have suggested about 5. And sometimes I've said 10,000, but now that I see Dr. Prasad says 5,000 should be.
5,000, because again, it is non-toxic, especially in this country is all deficiency or sufficient vitamin D3, millions, children also. By the way, children in the same way. And I want to emphasize also that it is not only just for the adult, but don't ignore for gummy, for the children.
Okay, you see that question.
Children health right now is as important as parent health or grandparent health.
Yeah.
And now they are going to school, they will suffer a lot of cold viruses. But if their immune system is good, they would not suffer it. They will have a huge chance. And here is the gummy. My granddaughter takes gummy. She seldom gets sick, but her all friends don't know about it. So they get sick, and then sometimes they stay away from their school. The parents have to worry about, take a doctor. So there's a lot of problem of parents. And so I always strongly recommend that for a kid who are going to school, you must give them a gummy.
Especially right now.
Back to you.
Especially right now. Bernard, thank you very much.
Because sometimes the flu season coming, sometimes this season is coming. The infection is all around for all the time.
Everybody's worried about it right now. You know, the RSV and the
there is another RSV, there is another variant of COVID-19, you know.
BA25 and something else come along. So there it is. So Dr. Prasad, thank you very much again, sir.
Thank you
for joining us. We can't thank you enough, and we appreciate so much what you bring to this company and have brought to our lives. Because many folks changing results. Folks are experiencing life-changing results as a consequence of taking your formulations and listening to your recommendations. So next week we'll be talking about diabetes, folks. Yeah, diabetes, folks. You do not want to miss next week. Dr. Prasad has got new research on diabetes. So be here for next week. We got a brief opportunity meeting in about 2 minutes. You guys can unmute. Thank you again, Dr. Prasad.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Folks can unmute if you want to.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you,
Thanks, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Bernard. And Jonathan.
Here, Jonathan.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Yes, see you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right.
See you next week.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. The ones give them a time to leave, but while you're leaving, maybe we could spot Jeff on here. Spot Jeff on here because Jeff has been momentous for me this week in helping me to actually help some people to actually come into this program. And Jeff.
No, I think we lost Jeff. He had to run to another meeting.
That's fine. I thought he was going to be here for a minute. Before we get started, because we're just going to have a couple minutes, what did you enjoy about today's presentation? We always do that, and it seemed to be a highlight of today.
Testimony.
30 seconds.